Hi everyone, I'll be talking about technology enhanced instruction today. So the International Society for Technology in Education, which is ISTE for short, inspires educators worldwide to use technology to innovate teaching and learning. It has two separate but sometimes overlapping standards for educators and students. So for educators, it includes learner, leader, citizen, collaborator, designer, facilitator, and analyst. For students, it includes empowered learner, digital citizen, knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. So using these standards, I created a survey for teachers to ask about the use of technology in their classroom. So here are 8 questions that I included. For 7 and 8, I borrowed from Caitlin from our cohort group in the discussion forum. So here are the questions, and let's take a look at our survey's background first. So the teachers I surveyed includes JH, who is an English teacher, and she teaches grades 6 to 7 at School A. BV is an English teacher for grades 11 and 12 for School B. RM is a history teacher for grades 12 at School B as well. So the responses to how often they use technology in their classroom. So JH doesn't really use as much technology for the students, but she will pull up images from her computer. That's as much she will use in the class. BV will use it daily, and RM in most classes in some form or another. So how technology is incorporated in lessons. So usually they will use a projection or smart board to showcase some PowerPoints, other visuals, or to do some research. So are students required to use technology to complete assignments? JH doesn't, as she doesn't have that much, as her students don't have access to computers. But BB says yes. His students have access to laptops, so they will need to complete written assignments, and RM also indicates yes. So student difficulties for using technology. One of the biggest problems in China is that a lot of sites, including Google, are blocked, and therefore without VPN, and sometimes VPN don't even work, you can't really access some websites for research purposes or for learning purposes. And BV also mentioned that plagiarism is a big problem when students have access to the internet. So number 5, how has technology improved or worsened student performance? Both BB and RM indicated that it will increase their performance as long as it's advantageous to help them find their own learning styles, and as long as you give them a good structure. So number 6, has technology helped with identifying struggling students? BB says yes. When they're doing PowerPoints, he can tell from the work they did whether they are understanding the subject or not. For RM, it's only in certain cases when they find challenges looking for information online. So how do you use technology to foster students' creativity and innovation? So JH mentioned that she would like them to use videos and podcasts if possible. BB mentioned that it's good for them to create PowerPoints and to become actors, so create this direct visual scenes. RM mentioned that they will learn to do presentations and learn to catch audience attention. But the way they do it is up to them, so they have to be creative about it. So how can we as teachers best prepare our students with the digital skills they will need for the future when the technology is constantly changing? JH mentioned that students should take notes on their computers and use them regularly to research and present findings. And BB mentions that as teachers, we should be aware of the current changes. And by doing the text that is informative, text-based on technology can help students understand the usage, disadvantage, or advantages of technology. So RM mentions that, again, we should be up to date with possible changes. And he mentioned something very interesting, that the concept of mutual dependence. So students are usually better at technology. Most cases, in my case, they're better at technology than I am. And also with RM's case. So what he does is he gives them the opportunity to teach him certain things regarding how to use technology in the classroom. So by doing that, students gain more confidence and a sense of achievement, which he believes is a win-win situation. And I can definitely see that as well. In conclusion, technology has many advantages and helps students perform better if it's used correctly and efficiently. So let's take a look at Bibi's English lesson plan. His teaching focus was to teach 5 literary devices to his students through the use of an excerpt from The Wolf Boy. So he first included a warmer, and he uses his projection, his smartboard, his PowerPoint to show drawings, paintings, colors, and shapes in relation to the literary devices that he's teaching them. So I think the highlights of this lesson plan is that he has clear objectives, he has warm-up activities, and he has visual enhancements such as drawings, paintings, color, shades. So he designed his lesson pretty well. And things that could have improved would be, instead of just talking about the haiku games, he could probably pull it up in his smartboard, the real video game, and have students play a little bit or explore it a little bit for them to have this better visual and understanding of what the haiku games is about. In addition, he could have included a video clip of the Wolf Boy instead of simply the excerpt. This will help students who are better visual or audiovisual learners to better absorb the material. So a checklist for me to use when I incorporate technology in my class. So number 1, is the technology used in class appropriate for the student's level? Number 2, does it provide skills that are new and useful or practice existing skills for students? Number 3, does it have variations to fit the students' levels? So basically, are they differentiated based on students' needs and abilities? Number 4, are these alternatives are there any alternatives in case of students' lack of accessibility? So in case they don't have VPN, they don't have internet, they don't have computer, what else can they do? Number 5, how can we make sure that the usage of technology in the classroom is a helping tool rather than a distraction? So here are my references, and thank you for watching.